on NewsHour tonight. Humanitarian crisis deepens as Maiduguri flood wreaks havoc. Heavy rains, severe highways, stranding commuters in Adamawa. Lagos residents sound alarm amid skyrocketing prices, pushing Nigerians further into poverty. On the foreign scene, Sudan's rival leaders show signs of peace talks and ongoing conflict. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's News Hour. Apologies for starting way behind schedule. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Now the news. A week after the Alau Dam overflowed into Maiduguri, residents are slowly piecing their lives back together in the wake of the devastation. While the entire community felt the impact, residents believe the hardest hit were those in middle to low income neighborhoods. In this report, Trust TV's Segre Ibrahim visits Bolabuling Ward, one of the worst affected areas, to show us how residents are navigating life in the aftermath of the flood.
We set out on this sojourn to see firsthand what reality looks like for residents in the Borno state capital who were hardest hit by what they described simply as an act of God. Hence our encounter with Jamila Yusuf, who risked it all to save her 90-year-old mother, who resides in her family home in Bulabiring ward of Maiduguri.
And they called me around 1 o'clock. They say they have plot in their house. Before I reached there, it's not easy. They bring my mother out from that place. Their house would break all of the place there. Many houses was brought.
Her mother, Hajia Uwani Adam, revealed that she was asleep and had no idea her apartment was flooded till her daughter arrived.
I was at home sleeping. I didn't even know the rain had come till my daughter came to wake me, and I asked what happened. She said flood. I opened the door and saw water gushing in.
The floods have come, and it's obvious that its aftermath remains here in Bulabuling community, just a week after the unfortunate incident hit this community. Perhaps we've seen what the water has done in terms of how many areas the water, passed through. We've seen how large the body of water is that swept through Maiduguri town and all of that. But we've not seen really how much damage it has caused firsthand in these areas, and probably this is the reason why we'll be taking you inside. For example, this is one of the residences that was affected by the flood, and from coming in you could see already the roofs are down. I mean, look at all of this. Well, this is all part of what transpired when the flood happened. Fortunately, most of those who are residents, in fact all of those who are residents in this house, interestingly, were saved from the flood, all thanks to the daughter of Hajia, who came to the house in the midnight around 1 a.m., by the way, to wake up Hajia so as for Hajia to be evacuated out of these premises that we now see has unfortunately collapsed.
Jamila comes to Bulabiring every day. She cooks what she can and brings it daily to share with the distraught residents. She grew up in Bulabiring. It's the least she can do, she said.
It's so sad, so sad. Many people there, they need help. Nobody go there and help them. Many people. That area, all the people, I'm telling you, almost 85%, they are very poor. We homeless, they don't have room, they are going to stay there. Why? They don't have any place they will go and live there.
While in Bulabiring ward, we spoke with some residents who described the situation as heartbreaking.
Well, it's very hard, I can say, because there is a lot of casualties here. Most of the houses have been burned, and people are suffering from what they are eating. No place to sleep, no place to live. This is how we live. People are stranded. Our clinic that help everyone in terms of health matters have already are destroyed by the flood. The only clinic that we have is Kalimari. It's now people are tripling there. They cannot even afford the medicine or other intervention to the people. If you go to general hospital, the nearest, because that is specialist hospital, even the people are so many, you cannot attend it by the health specialist.
This incident is an act of God and not that of government. But if things go bad, it is the responsibility of government to fix it. We in Blabrin are the hardest hit among all the affected wards. All of us now sleep on the expressway. For residents of Blabrin ward, the flood's aftermath is one they can see, feel, and smell.
If you were in Bulabulin ward 2 weeks ago, perhaps this is going to be a different view for you. But then today, it is what it is. This is what street here in Bulabulin ward looks like, because according to some of them, this ward has been the most affected, or rather impacted by the flood. If you look behind me, you would see kids playing around that area. Well, they are playing and they are having fun. Perhaps they do not understand what the situation is.
From Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, Sagir Ibrahim for Trust TV News.
Quite a sad one there. Hopefully the people of Bulabuli get the help that they need. Now the federal government, through the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, on Thursday said water from the Lagdo Dam in neighboring Francophone country Cameroon has been released into River Niger and River Benue in Nigeria's north central. The agency warned Nigerian residents in floodplains to relocate immediately to safe spaces in anticipation of attendant floods that annually come with the release of water from the Lagdo Dam. The NISA Director General Umar Mohammed issued the warning on Thursday. Mohammed said his agency met with the authorities in Cameroon and agreed that water from the Lagdo Dam be released intermittently from the River Benue and the River Niger in Nigeria to be able to contain the volume of water to avoid flooding in 11 states at risk. On Tuesday, the federal government alerted Nigerians of the plan by the Cameroonian authorities to release water from the Lagdo Dam. NISA listed flood-prone states to include Adamawa, Taraba, Benue, Nasarawa, Kogi, Edo, Delta, Anambra, Bayelsa, Cross Rivers, and Rivers. The NISA boss said for now there is calm and normalcy as the water is being regularized from the Lagdo Dam, though the currents are rising. The Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Naima Hajia Zubaida Umar, has revealed that so far 1,061,254 Nigerians have been affected by flood, with 634,035 displaced, while 94,741 houses have been submerged across the country this year. She warned that 16 local government areas of Kebbi are expected to be hit by floods this year. The NAMA chief spoke at the 2024 downscaling of flood early warning strategies for early actions held in Birnin Kebbi on Thursday. Umar Wu was represented by the Director of Disaster Risk Reduction at the agency, Daniel Abbott, said the early warning strategies were to integrate direct risk communication and engagement approaches to disseminating warnings for early actions at the state, local government and community levels. She revealed that statistics from the National Emergency Coordination Center, EOC of NAMA, as of Friday, September 13, indicated that 176 local government areas in 30 states, including the FCT, were affected as against the 148 local government areas and 31 states predicted by NISA. Over in Jigawa, the ongoing humanitarian crisis in the state, where flood waters have devastated communities, is yet to abate, as many residents have been forced into internally displaced persons camps set up by government and private agencies as part of relief efforts. Trust TV's Ali Rabiu Ali, who visited one of the camps, reports that those affected are struggling to rebuild their lives all over again. Here's the report.
In Zakwawa, the flood-affected residents now live in makeshift shelters at a local primary school. Many have taken to small businesses selling groundnut cakes, fish and vegetables. Despite efforts to provide some relief, the lack of resources is evident and the health implications are severe.
This outbreak is mostly diarrhea disease because there is open defecation affected our areas where the IDP come assisted, and there is cases of malaria disease again because they are not sleep under long-lasting insects treated net.
Flood waters sent us out of our homes. That is why we are here. While here, we have continued with our business of frying fish with my father and younger ones. My rooms have collapsed, so we need government's intervention. The flood sent us out of our homes, so we brought our businesses here in the camp. We thank God that the government is assisting us with shelter and what to eat. My business has been helping me put food on the table and assist my family. Got married at Agufa village. After I gave birth, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. The reason I moved to this place is because my husband's house has collapsed. After that, I returned to my father's house. Later, my father's house also collapsed, and as a result of the flood, we are here. We need government's intervention.
Rukaya's plight highlights the critical challenges vulnerable individuals face in these camps. Despite efforts from organizations like UNICEF, many IDPs struggle to meet their basic needs.
We thank God for this great intervention whereby UNICEF bring it to the flooding victims of the Niger local government. As for now, we have about 16 to 18 camp. The total number of IPDs victims are 49. And they have about, out of these 49, they have about 52 wives. And the children are about 120 something.
1/3 of the houses of these Akwawa villages have been submerged into the water. The household of about 45 to 50 have gathered here in the Akwawa Primary School before the government think of what to do.
As the community continues to fight for survival, the call for increased assistance from both the government and NGOs grows louder.
They need help seriously. They lose their shelter. Even the poor, they are not able to feed 3 times a day. They need serious help. Their shelter is not good. Their method of feeding is not good also. They need seriously help.
The resilience of the people in Jigawa State is evident, but without substantial support, their struggles will only deepen. Ali Rabiu Ali, Trust TV News, Jigawa.
Now, the Kano state government has announced plans to build houses for persons displaced by flood disasters in the state. Media aide to Governor Abba Yusuf Sunusi Bature, who disclosed this in a statement on Thursday, said the governor announced this during the weekly State Executive Council meeting held on Wednesday. The statement quoted the governor as saying that the gesture would mitigate the effects of flooding in the state. He said the provision of the houses would significantly assist the flood victims to secure suitable shelter for their families. According to him, the state government is working in collaboration with the state's Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation to provide food and non-items to the flood victims. The governor said the government would also distribute chairs and desks to 220,000 students of basic and post-basic schools under the first phase of the program. A flash flood has swept away a section of the main link road between Gombe and Adamawa states, leaving travelers stranded. While efforts to create a temporary route are ongoing, frustrated commuters are urging authorities for a faster solution. Reporting from the senior Savannah Sugar Company is Gibson Swadigo.
What we have here are stranded travelers from different parts of the country. Some are coming from as far as Jos, Kano, Abuja, and others who are coming from part of Adamawa State and Taraba State are all stranded at this particular location. with nothing to do at a moment. On this particular spot, there's an ongoing construction of a big culvert. Already a diverted road has been created for the motorist to follow. Now, with the heavy downpour coming from the mountains, now the waters came down and washed away the ongoing work and left the travelers stranded along Numan Gombe Road. At this spot, the travelers who stayed for more than hours, some are here without food, there are children and other travelers who are going to different locations are all stranded, not knowing their fate at this particular moment.
Even make a complaint because this company that's repairing this road, they are waiting a lot of time. Seriously, this actual time our federal government will have to take note and they serious to maintain this road. Otherwise, masses will be suffering.
I'm heading back to Abuja. I came here to camp. It's so frustrating right now because the distance is much and we stand here just wasting of time.
From Jalingo going to Kano. It's so devastating that even hunger by now we are like not really finding it easy. Actually, we don't know what to do except if people come to rescue us from this situation we are in. Indeed, with this happening, there's need for the government to come and do what they are supposed to do. This thing we have been trusting God for them to do for long. We've been going through this way. But thank God for this happening today. And we are hoping that the government will take this situation and do something to rescue the life of many.
Away from flood-related matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) on Thursday morning began the distribution of sensitive materials for Saturday's governorship election to the 18 local government areas of the state. The distribution took place at the premises of the Central Bank of Nigeria on Akpavawa Junction, located at the Ring Road in Benin. The process was carried out with the help of buses contracted by INEC for that purpose. Sensitive materials were inspected by the INEC officials in the presence of party leaders to ensure they were complete and intact. In an interview with Trust TV, stakeholders in Saturday's governorship election in Edo State urged all eligible voters, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), security agencies, political parties and other relevant stakeholders to work towards ensuring a credible election.
As far as we are concerned, like I said, the security agencies are basic prescription. And that is to say that they must ensure that the election is fair and ensure that it's free and fair. And that is the expectation we all have. It is not important whether we have an election here right now. One is faster than before, being agent of the party. I think I'm confident that there is a great improvement in this election.
We are here at INEC headquarters to pick up our materials. You can see observers here working the materials here. We are optimistic that all the actors will play by the rules. And we believe we are going to have a peaceful election because judging from the number of security agencies around.
Now, still with Edo elections ahead of the governorship election, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has called on political parties to suspend all campaign activities. The commission, in a post via its official X handle, reiterated that all campaigns by political parties must end at midnight today, Thursday, 19th September. INEC emphasized that it is illegal for any political party in Edo State to engage in rallies, processions or media campaigns from midnight. The commission further instructed parties, candidates and their supporters not to appear at the polling units in their campaign attire or carry any campaign materials with them. Turning political matters over in Benue State, the Independent Electoral Commission in the state's chairman, Telemun Tumbua on Thursday announced that 8 political parties are expected to participate in the upcoming local government election. He listed the political parties participating in the election to include the All Progressives Congress APC, People's Democratic Party PDP, the All Progressives Grand Alliance APGA, Labour Party LP, the Action Alliance Congress AAC, the Social Democratic Party SDP, the New Nigeria People's Party NNPP, and the Zenith Labour Party ZLP. The chairman, who promised a free and fair election, explained that the law establishing the commission does not permit the use of bimodal voter accreditation machine for the election. Tambor added that the National Working Committee of the ruling APC had written to the commission regarding the 7-man committee appointed to oversee the party's affairs in the state. The commission chairman, however, allayed concerns about the possibility of any aggrieved APC group seeking a court order to restrain the commission from conducting the election, stating that the law establishing the commission as amended forbids the court from interfering in electoral processes. In the meantime, Benue State Governor Hyacinth Elia says the forthcoming local government elections in the state will be transparent. Governor Elia said this when he briefed State House correspondents in Abuja after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa on Thursday. The governor also noted that the relative peace in the state will be sustained before, during, and after the local council polls. Elia explained that the state was prepared for any eventuality following the release of water from the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon.
We have elections coming up on just next month, 5th October, the primaries for the local government. I think of note should be the fact stated that I was one amongst the very first people who, before the declaration of autonomy by the legal authorities, we had already made it in our state that autonomy was already granted. We're very sure that it's going to play out quite well. So we're very comfortable with the elections coming up.
Over to Kwara State, where the chairman of the State Electoral Commission, Mohammed Baba Onkonle, says the 5 political parties, namely APC, PDP, APM, SDP, and Accord Party, will be participating in the Saturday local government elections in the state. Speaking at a media parliament organized by the State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists in Ilorin, the state capital, the Kwasiek board said arrangements have been concluded for a hitch-free local government election coming up in all the 16 local government areas of the state. Baba Okonla also said the commission is fully prepared for the council poll, adding that the commission has worked diligently to ensure that every aspect of the electoral process is well planned and organized. He said the commission has been collaborating with the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to ensure the success of the council poll.
A level playing ground must be given to all the intended political parties that might want to participate in the election. But for the easy conduct of the said election, all the parties that will have shown interest to contest the election, by law, are supposed to provide party agents that will man where votes are casted. We have persuaded all party contestants, party aspirants, all party stalwart and party follower to maintain peace and order.
We'll go over to Kano State, where the governor, Abba Kabir Yusuf, has dissolved the caretaker chairman in the 44 local government areas in the state. Now, he directed the caretaker chairman to hand over to the directors of personnel management, DPM, in their respective council areas. The governor made the announcement during a special meeting held at the Africa House, Government House, Kano, saying that the dissolution applies to all chairmen, vice chairmen, secretaries, and councillors in the state. However, he warned the DPMs to refrain from engaging in political activities. The governor thanked the caretaker chairman for their contributions to the development of their areas and hinted at potential future collaborations. The caretaker chairman, in turn, thanked the governor for the opportunity given to them to serve their communities within the time given to them. The Kano State House of Assembly had approved a 2-month extension to the tenure of the caretaker chairman, which was billed to expire on September 8, 2024. Now, the Court of Appeal Abuja has granted the request of the federal government and former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge, to settle out of court an appeal challenging his removal as CJN. The decision of the court followed information that the two parties have intensified efforts to reach an amicable settlement of all issues in dispute. Former President Muhammadu Buhari had in 2019 removed Onoge as the CJN during the pendency of a charge against him at the Code of Conduct Tribunal (CCT). At Thursday's proceedings, lead counsel for the former CJN, Ogo Onoja, informed the court that the two parties are already having discussions on a peaceful resolution of the dispute. He subsequently appealed to the appellate court for a 1-month adjournment for final settlement of the matter. Counsel for the federal government, Tijani Ghazali, corroborated the submission of Onoja and requested that the matter be shifted forward for a possible amicable settlement. In a brief remark, Justice J.O. Oyewole directed them to file terms of settlement for adoption when eventually agreed upon. Justice Oyewole held that the terms of settlement must be documented and filed before the adjourned date for the court to adopt and its judgment in the matter. He subsequently fixed November 4 as a return date for the two parties. This is a news hour on Trust TV. Coming up, Lagos residents warn soaring prices driving more Nigerians into poverty. This story and more when we return. Please do stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Now a recap of our top stories. We told you that humanitarian crisis deepens as Maiduguri flood wreaks havoc. We also informed you that heavy rains severe highways stranding commuters in Adamawa. To other stories, a joint team from the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control and the Borno State Ministry of Health has raided warehouses in the Gamburu area of Maiduguri, seizing drugs worth millions of naira that were improperly stored and compromised by recent flooding. The operation aims to prevent the sale and distribution of unsafe drugs which could pose significant health risk. NAFDAC's Northeast Director, Kenneth Azikwe, stated that the agency was acting on orders from NAFDAC's Director General Mojisola Adeyeye to evacuate and destroy the damaged drugs. He warned the public to avoid purchasing drugs affected by the flood and urged residents to report any instances of people sundrying or selling such compromised drugs. While calling on the public to remain alert and report anyone sundrying or selling drugs affected by the flood, the DG said NAFDAC remained committed to ensuring safe and good quality drugs nationwide. Borno's Health Commissioner Baba Malam Ghana emphasized the need for proper storage of medicines and promised that the state government would work with relevant agencies to improve the situation at Gamburu Market.
Who? Dry one. Okay, dry ones.
Still on NAFDAC-related matters, the agency has destroyed substandard products including counterfeit drugs and medical devices worth 43 billion naira in Ibadan, Oyo State capital. The exercise was carried out on Thursday at the Monia dump site in Akinyele local government area of the state, with representatives from security agencies and the Oyo State government in attendance. The Director General of NAFDAC, Mojisola Adeyeye, represented by the Director of Investigation and Enforcement, Shaba Mohammed, said the products were voluntarily surrendered to the agency by compliant companies, non-governmental organizations and trade unions. The seized items, she said, included aphrodisiacs, sex enhancement drugs, over-the-counter medications and prescription-only drugs. The NAFDAC boss, however, stressed the importance of public involvement in combating counterfeit drugs and unwholesome food products and urged citizens to report unlawful practices to the nearest NAFDAC office for immediate investigation. The Nigerian Customs Service, Area 1 Port Harcourt, has handed over illicit drugs seized at the Port Harcourt International Airport to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. Addressing journalists and other stakeholders during the handover, the Comptroller of the Command, Mustafa Hashim, said the breakthrough was made possible through collaborative efforts of the Nigerian Customs and other security agencies using effective intelligence. Here's the report.
The consignment, believed to have originated from India, was imported into the country illegally through international airlines from Frankfurt to the Port Harcourt. Hashim warned drug traffickers to turn a new leaf as his men are adequately equipped to track them down.
The seized cargoes were smuggled into the country in 2 batches. 6 packages in the first instance and 3 packages thereafter. The controlled substance were closely monitored on arrival by our eagle-eyed intelligence units that waited patiently for the consignee or the custom agents to come forward for capturing an assessment of his consignment.
Receiving the seized drugs, the NDLEA commander, Port Harcourt International Airport Command, Nigerian Nathaniel, corroborated the position of the Customs Comptroller on synergy among security agencies and assured of prosecuting whosoever is involved in the importation of the seized items.
We are receiving this drug, but I'm still expecting to have the suspect, because there's somebody that brought in this thing, and I'm assuring you we are going to prosecute whoever and the syndicate, because in our operation we don't crash. We dismantle the syndicate.
On the revenue generated so far, the comptroller said his commander has generated a total of over 142 billion naira between January and August 2024, with an increase of 73.2 billion naira, representing 105% increase from previous year 2023.
The notable rise in revenue can be attributed to various factors, including enhanced operational efficiency, successful implementation of new revenue-generating initiatives, creating an enabling environment for trade and increased market demand. It is also a testament to our team's dedication and the successful execution of our strategic goals.
Comptroller Mustafa says the Nigeria Customs Service will continue to work with security agencies and other relevant bodies to protect the nation from dangers posed by illicit drugs and other contraband.
To cost of living matters, the recent surge in fuel prices across Nigeria has plunged many more citizens into poverty, making it increasingly difficult for people to afford basic necessities, especially food. This has also significantly slowed down business operations, with many experiencing low patronage. Victoria Chokole, who spoke to Lagos residents about the impact of the fuel price hike, has more in this report is presented from our studios. The recent fuel price hike in Nigeria has sparked warnings that the country's poverty rate is set to soar. With the cost of fuel increasing by over 50%, many Nigerians are struggling to afford basic necessities like food, transportation, and healthcare. According to the World Bank, Nigeria's poverty rate is already one of the highest in the world, with over 40% of the population living on less than $1.90 a day. The fuel price hike is expected to push millions more into poverty, particularly in urban areas like Lagos State, where fuel is a major expense. The rise in fuel prices has already triggered an increase in the cost of basic goods and services, making it even harder for low-income households to meet their daily needs. In Lagos, residents have been speaking on how the fuel price hike has further strained their livelihoods.
This fuel issue now don't push Nigeria to poverty level. For now, we're working with the market where they purchased last year and the market this year is not the same thing in Nagam. One of the consultants, customer now is not coming as before again because of this increment of the fuel. The increment of fuel is making people now to stand on the road now to rob people because of the hardship in Nigeria.
Everybody knows in Nigeria that immediately they put 1 naira on top of petrol. It affects every commodity that they are selling. in the market. So now, they said if Dangote starts business, running his own refinery, everything will normalize. The price of fuel will come down. But instead of government to allow Dangote to sell to marketers, now the NNPC still say they will be buying from Dangote.
The situation is also affecting small businesses, which are struggling to stay afloat due to the high cost of fuel. Low-income earners told Trust TV the challenges they are facing while trying to make a living for themselves and their families.
This fuel increment is pushing Nigerian people into poverty, really poverty, because as a food seller, before I used to buy garri in bag at the rate of 10,000 to 12,000, but now you cannot buy garri again in bag because of how things are going on in Nigeria now. Garri in bag now is from 50,000, 50-something thousand. So these fuel issues are pushing Nigerian people into a big poverty.
Increase in fuel has really put Nigeria into poverty because, let's take for instance, I buy beans before like 40k per bag, but now I'm buying it for 125. So even the increase is too much. Like the way customer, maybe by now I would have been through with selling of my market, I would have been like closing for the day. But now no more customers. People just come, they buy in small quantity. They don't want to buy big quantity because some will say I have family at home, I have this, I have other work to do. So they will have to cut down their stomach.
Lagos residents are calling on the Nigerian government to take immediate action to address the situation and mitigate the impact of the fuel price hike, especially on low-income households in the state and in the country at large. Presidential Committee on Livestock Sector Reforms Implementation on Thursday submitted its inception report to President Bola Tinubu. Speaking to journalists shortly after meeting with the president, the chairman of the committee and former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Atahiru Jega, said the committee was able to identify measures on how the Nigerian government can judiciously utilize the livestock industry in the country. He revealed that the 152-page document submitted to President Tinubu recommends measures that the government can use to mitigate the farmers-herders clashes across the country. According to him, the committee's position is that it would be counterproductive to immediately stop open grazing as a traditional method of pastoralism.
Mr. President inaugurated this committee on the 9th of July. And the committee began work immediately after inauguration. And we have been able now to produce what we call an inception report, which contains very wide-ranging recommendations as to how our country can tap the potentials of the livestock sector. Very happy that Mr. President has recognized the need to redress this neglect and has invited us to contribute to finding ways and the means of unlocking the opportunities in this sector.
It's time for business news with Yusuf Akogo.
Time for some business stories. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) has authorized major petroleum marketers to commence lifting of premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, from Dangote Petroleum Refinery under the existing agreement between it and the refinery. The initial agreement stated that NNPCL is the only distributor of the refinery petrol, with first batch of the consignment put at 16.8 million litres lifted by NNPCL retail entity. Reports say some major marketers, including Double One PLC, have already lifted the product for distribution to their outlets in Lagos and other parts of the nation. According to the National President of Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Imminent, Abakrami Gandhi, independent marketers have not been included in this modified agreement. He added that they are not yet buying from NNPCL under the Dangote refinery arrangement. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, has berated Nigeria's current tax to GDP ratio of 10.86%, which is far below the African average of about 15 to 20%, despite reforms and policy changes to boost revenue, simplify compliance, and address critical fiscal challenges. President of the Chamber, Gabriel Idahosa, made a remark on Wednesday during a program organized by the Chamber in Lagos. Idahosa emphasized the pivotal role taxation plays in shaping economic growth, promoting equity, and enabling sustainable development. According to him, under its new leadership, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has set an ambitious goal of increasing tax collection by 57%, targeting a revenue of 19.4 trillion naira for 2024. He noted that government aims to achieve a tax-to-GDP ratio of 18% within the next 3 years through the newly introduced tax reforms, requires a concerted effort of the public and private sectors, along with targeted reforms aimed at simplifying tax policies and encouraging compliance. NGS closed Thursday trading in red as portfolio investors dump equities for cash. Let's see how it went down. Leading the losers today is Honey Flower. Honey Flower down 9.98% to close at 4 naira and 87 kobo per share. UPDC PLC also up and down there 9.74% to close at 1 naira and 76 kobo per share. Of course, First Bank of Nigeria holding is down today 9.14%. It closed at 30 naira and 80 kobo per share. Of course, this has dragged down the index by 0.2%. Volume of trade 466.86 million shares, valued at 11.20 billion naira in a days of 9,738 did exchanges among investors today. Looking at the top trading equities by volume, Japan Gold leader table there 106.66 million shares traded, UACN 57.75 million shares, of course Fidelity Bank Nigerian PLC 48.73 million shares he traded as well. Of course, some equities recorded gains there. Nichols leader table 10% it gained to close at 1 naira and 65 kobo per share. ABC Transport also up as well 10% to close at 99 kobo per share. Of course, UPL also there as well 9.95%. It closed at 2 naira and 43 kobo per share there. And that's the highlight of stock trading as it went down this Thursday on the floor of NGS. Let's see the global stock market and exchange rate data for today. Oil prices rose on Thursday after a large interest rate cut from the U.S. Federal Reserve, but Brent was still hovering around its lowest level of the year, below $75 on expectation of weaker global demand. At the London market, Brent crude sells for $74 per barrel. For the pay basket, dealers offer $73 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akugu.
Thank you, Yusuf, for that business update. Now away from Nigeria, Sudan's army and the paramilitary rapid support forces RSF signaled willingness to engage in peace talks, responding to U.S. President Joe Biden's call for dialogue in the ongoing war, which has lasted over 17 months. Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan expressed readiness for constructive efforts to end the conflict, while RSF leader Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo reaffirmed his commitment to ceasefire negotiations, stating that the path to peace lies in dialogue, not violence. Despite these statements, both leaders continue to blame each other for the violence, which began in April 2023 due to tensions between the army and RSF, once allies, after a coup. Neither has outlined specific steps toward peace. It's time for sports with Adeni Ajishafe.
Team Delta has emerged champions of the 8th National Youth Games with 46 gold, 31 silver and 34 bronze, totally 111 medals. The whole state of the Youth Games were declared winners at the closing ceremony held at the Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba, on Thursday. They are closely followed by Team Lagos, who had 26 gold, 20 silver and 19 bronze medals, while the third position went to Team Edo for scooping 18 gold, 12 silver and 28 bronze medals. Recall that Delta hosted the 7th edition of the Games and topped the medal table with 51 gold, 34 silver and 11 bronze medals. They have won all editions of the National Youth Games from 2016 till date. Meanwhile, 35 states, including the FCT, won medals excluding Ebonyi State, unlike 2023 where 27 states won medals, with Rivers being the only state that did not participate. And in table tennis, the intense rivalry between Africa's top table tennis nations, Egypt and Nigeria, will be reignited at the 2024 ITTF African Championships. The championship will take place in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, from 12 to 19 October 2024, serving as qualifiers for the 2024 ITTF Mixed Team Cup in China and 2025 World Championships in Qatar. The tournament will feature top teams and regional champions competing in the 2 teams event and 5 individual events, namely men's teams, men's singles, men's doubles, and mixed doubles. Returning to Ethiopia after 24 years, the local organizing committee promises an exciting competition as the reigning champions Egypt will face fierce competition from Accra, Nigeria, along with strong contenders like Tunisia and Algeria. President of the African Table Tennis Federation, ATTF, Khalid El Sahi, expressed confidence in Ethiopia's preparations, highlighting their successful hosting of the Eastern Regional Championship in 2023. And in athletics, annual multi-sport event Diamond League will increase its prize money to more than $9 million in 2025, the highest in the history of the series, the organizer said on Wednesday. Athletes will make a total of $18 million, with top athletes also receiving promotional fees. Male and female athletes will be paid at the same rate. The Diamond League said in a statement, the new total is almost a third higher than the sum paid during the pandemic-affected period of 2021 to 2024, adding that more will be invested in the athletes' travel, transport, accommodation, medical, and physio services. Each of the 14 meets at the 2025 regular season, scheduled to kick off in April, will award the total prize money of $500,000, with the final in August offering $2.24 million. The total prize money per discipline will be $30,000 and $50,000 at the series meetings, and between $60,000 and $100,000 at the final. The Diamond League 2024 season concluded in Brussels last week, with Zurich set to host the 2025 final. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
And that's it for News Hour tonight on Trust Television. For more of our news programs and documentaries, do also follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for joining us tonight.